Alright, what's up, guys? This is just a voiceover of day one on my bulking program that I have available. It's 6 weeks, push-pull legs. This is a push day, so we're training chest, shoulders, and triceps. So typically to get started, I'll warm up with just some lightweight shoulder stuff, lightweight triceps, lightweight back, just to get stretched out, kind of get some blood flowing into my upper body. So as you can see here, just starting out with some pretty lightweight cable lateral raises. I think that was like 10 pounds or something, just to kind of get my shoulders loosened up. And then I do pull-ups all the time, pretty much. I like doing them between every set almost, just to really fully get my shoulders loosened up and kind of get some blood flowing in there. And if your chest or back is sore at all, kind of just hanging from the pull-up bar helps you stretch out a little bit and just open that up a little bit. So I hit a few sets of those and then added a rope to the cable and did some push downs. Again, pretty lightweight. I think that's just maybe 30 or 35 pounds. So not trying to exhaust myself, but just trying to get my triceps warm and also get my elbow joints loosened up. More pull-ups. I went with a wider grip this time. I like to switch it up. The wider grip will target your back a little more. Closer grip with hands turned inwards will hit your biceps a little bit more. So yeah, again, just hit a few pull-ups to get loosened up. Jumped on the first set of flat bench on this program. The first set is a 5 by 8 to 10, but I like to hit a couple warm-up sets with some lighter weight, just kind of get the feel down for the movement and get warmed up. So just have 135 on here. Just really working on, again, getting any impingements out of my shoulders, kind of just loosening up and just making sure I have the movement down and also the form. So here's my second set at 135, just getting warm. I put my feet up on the bench like this and push myself up so that I can really get my shoulders pinned back and underneath, and then also so I can get my back like really well arched, because that'll help with the form. On this one, right before I went up to my working set, I really just focused on exploding up, and then also you can see here I moved my feet back a little bit, really focusing on using my legs and getting that leg drive in order to more effectively push the weight up. So I hit a couple more of these. After 2 sets, I'm usually good. That's getting me decently warm. So now I've got my working weight on with 225, 5 by 8. I think I just did 8 here. But again, really making sure that I got my shoulders pinned back arched, leg drive, really got my legs under me. I probably maybe could have done a little bit more. Maybe could have done 235, 240, but I just didn't want to mess with any little weights. So just had 225 on here. Felt pretty good. I think one of my shoulders was kind of messed up, so that was kind of messing with me, but got through it. This was one of my later sets. Pretty tired at this point. As you can see, I push my butt up off the bench before I unrack it, and then I'll put my butt back down as soon as I have the weight up. That's just a preference. I think it's easier to get the weight off the rack that way. Anyway, a couple sets of 8 here with 225, and then I think that was it for the flat bench, and then we'll move on to the incline barbell next. Yeah, as you can see, that last set of 8 was pretty tough. Again, lighter weight on here to start out with. Just got 135 on. Hoodie still on, still getting warm. Yeah, just trying to kind of get the movement down. With the incline bench, you want to make sure that the seat is moved to the proper height. Just make sure that everything is kind of in place and where it should be. So yeah, just a few reps at 135 just to make sure the motion was good. After hitting my heavy bench sets, obviously my chest is already warmed up. So up to 185 now for my first working set. Hoodie's off. Time to get to work. So again, this on the program, I've got 4 sets of 6 to 8. 185 is it's not too hard, so I can probably hit 10, but I was just starting slow just to kind of see where I was at. It was late, and this was my second workout of the day, so I was just kind of trying to gauge where my strength was. So I think I hit maybe 6 or 7 here, but it wasn't too difficult. But yeah, just a good warm-up again. And then on the program, I've got this superset with front raises. I use a 45-pound plate, but you could do 35 pounds or 25 pounds, whatever you want. So we just hop straight into that. On these ones, try to really make sure that you are isolating your shoulders as much as possible. This will hit the anterior head of your shoulder. It's easy to kind of swing your back and use your momentum to get the weight up, or even flex your chest a little bit to help you out. But if you can isolate your shoulders as much as possible, that is best. Here's a later set. I think this was second or third set. And then I added some weight here. So I'm up to 205, and I think I did 6. This incline bench is kind of tricky because the weight is pushed way back, so you have to reach all the way behind you and then pull it over. So without a spotter to help you unrack, it was kind of difficult and really threw me off a little bit. As you can see, I was not really comfortable on the bench and just didn't have the greatest position. I think I managed to get 6 out of this one though, and then I think I maybe did 1 set of 6 after this as well for 4 sets. And then hopping right back into the plate raises. When you're doing supersets, do your best not to rest between the 2 exercises. The faster you can go from one to the next, the better, because you're really trying to exhaust everything that the muscle has and completely fatigue it, push it, make it work harder. So if you can go from one to the next as fast as possible, that's the best thing you can do. There's no specific number I have on the program for those, so I just did 10 to 12. So now we've got the incline dumbbell bench, 4 sets of 10 to 12. I grabbed the 60s here again just to kind of warm up, get the motion down. Some people don't like to do that because obviously it's an extra set, but I just like to do it to kind of make sure I'm feeling good and feeling comfortable, nothing's going wrong or anything. So quick set with the 60s, and then I grabbed the 90s. As you can notice too, I lowered the bench down. Previously it was at like a 45-degree angle, but I went down to a 30-degree angle. I think the 30-degree will isolate the upper chest a little bit more, whereas if you're doing it with a 45-degree angle, it's going to hit and activate a little bit more of the shoulders. But with obviously any benching movement, you want to get as much chest activation as possible. So lower that down, hit a pretty decently easy set with 90s. So then I went up to 95s for my next couple sets. And on the program, I have these superset with 10 diamond push-ups between each set. Didn't film that because obviously you guys know how to do 10 push-ups. So did 95s for 4 sets. Let me see what we had here. Oh, 4 sets of 6, 4 sets of 10 to 12. So I think I may have done only 8. Maybe I did 10, I'm not sure. Either way, I felt good, felt strong. So next we got the seated dumbbell shoulder press. So we got 3 sets of 15. This is a variation of the shoulder press. Obviously, you can just do regular dumbbell press if you want to. These are called victories. As you can see, my arms are kind of going out at an angle, and the dumbbell is almost angled down towards the ground. Doing that will just isolate the anterior head of the shoulder a little bit more, the front head. If you want to try that, you can. It's a little bit harder. I was probably going a little too heavy on these, but managed to get 15. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. I've kind of started to like these a lot just because of the isolation. So, and then I just hit a few regular overhead press reps afterwards, just kind of finish myself off. And those are superset with 15 wide grip push-ups on the program. Then we have lateral raises. I call these the run the rack sets, where you get 3 different weights. I did it backwards for this first set. You get 3 different weights. For the first set, or for the heaviest weight, you do 10 reps. For the middle weight, you do 15. For the lightest weight, you do 20. Typically, I would start with the lighter weight and do 20, and then 15, and then 10. I obviously did it backwards, so I did 10, 15, 20. On these, you really want to pay attention to your form. A lot of people struggle with the form on lateral raises, either bringing the weight up too high, not isolating the shoulder enough, using the chest, using the back, using body momentum. Keep your body as still as you can. Have a slight bend in your arm. Try to keep the weight parallel to the ground, or even have your pinkies higher than your thumbs if you can. and just really focus on that mind-muscle connection between your, focus on isolating the medial head of your shoulder as much as you possibly can. As you can kind of see, I like doing these right in front of a mirror just so I can literally just watch. And I think if I find myself watching my medial head, I can more easily isolate it. So this is my second set. I did the right way. I started with this small weight and did 20 reps first, and then I went up and did 15 and then 10 for the next ones. So on the program, I've got 2 sets of this circuit, which is still a lot of reps and a lot of volume. So yeah, just make sure, I think the biggest thing here is just pay attention to your form, because proper form will get you that, more progress. So by the end of this, I was pretty toasted, and as you can see, I was kind of using a lot of body momentum here. I had to take a break there. So challenge yourself and go as heavy as you possibly can. And then for the last shoulder exercise, it was 3x20 on the machine press. Anything machine press, I like to stay with a wide grip because I feel like it isolates the shoulder a little bit more. If you go narrow, you're going to use some of your chest. So I think I did as many reps as I could with a wide grip to fully fatigue my shoulders. And then for the last 5 or so, I brought it in a little bit so that I could get it up. I find a narrow grip a little bit easier because, like I said, you're using your chest and your shoulders. But that was pretty tricky. And for 3 sets of 20, you just completely fry everything that your shoulders have left. So hopefully by the end of that, you're pretty toasted. And then I just finished off with 3x25 dips, I think, to finish my triceps off and then fully fatigue myself. By the end of this, I was almost cramping up, so it felt good.